Hello everyone, Ember here, and welcome back to a new video. In this one, I would like to take a look at a bunch of new cards from the set Mega Evolution. So, Mega Kangaskhan EX was revealed along with Mega Camerupt, and I do think Mega Kangaskhan honestly has some really solid potential in Standard. It has this ability where basically, if it's in the active spot, then once in your turn, you get to just draw two cards, which by itself doesn't sound like a lot, but really Pheasantipity sees a lot of play right now, and that's a draw 3 effect, so I guess, it's one more card, right? But Pheasantipity has to be triggered when something got KO'd during your opponent's last turn, at the end of their turn, basically. So I really like the fact that Mega Kangaskhan is essentially another, flat draw engine. Like, sure, it has a high retreat cost of 3, you might be able to see that's a little bit blurry in this image, but, it means you won't be able to use Air Balloon, like, you definitely won't want to use, Air Balloon plus a Mindly Attachment discard every time in order to use this ability. But, if you put like a Latias EX in play, for example, then you will be able to have free retreat. And there is like a lot of decks already utilizing Latias EX. So it's kind of like, okay, I could definitely see Mega Kangaskhan slotting quite nicely into these decks. Especially since with 300 HP, unless your opponent is playing like a super powerful deck, like Raging Bolt, for example, that can take all these massive one-hit KOs all the time, then I really don't think it's that much of a liability because your opponent will have to boss it up, like do more damage to it, then boss it up again and like hit it again. So I don't think it's like that much of a liability at 300 HP. It's kind of awkward to deal with. But if you also just want to run it as like an attacker in a deck and like a main cornerstone piece, I guess, then for 3 colors, Rapid Fire combo does 200 damage and you flip a coin to get tails and you do 50 more damage for each head. So even if you just get one head, it's like 250 is not that bad for 3 energy, to be honest. But if you do get 2 heads, you can do 300 damage, which is quite impressive. So yeah, a lot of potential just to get some crazy one-hit kills with the attack. You also have things like Bouffalante with colorless types, as well as like Trumpet. So I think there is some actual like decent support. And with Bouffalante, you're taking minus 60 less damage if you have 2 Bouffalante in play. So, that with Terrapagos, Noctowl, what's it called? Area Zero, that kind of Skyfield effect. I think this could be really solid overall. So, yeah, definitely looking forward to Mega Kangaskhan. We'll just have to see what kind of an impact it makes on the format. And we've also got my favorite Mega reveal, which was Mega Camerupt DX. Ever since this guy was revealed, like, way back, because a lot of these Megas were actually revealed weeks ago, but they were just too small and blurry to read, so I didn't, bother reporting on it or anything. But Mega Camerupt DX was my most anticipated Mega from this set, just because it's my favorite Pokemon out of all the ones revealed. So yeah, Mega Camerupt DX, 340 HP, which is, decently bulky for a Stage 1 Mega, of course. It is giving up 3 prize cards, so I would like it to have a lot of HP. So, 340, 10 more HP than Charizard. Has 2 attacks. Roasting Heat is probably the more interesting of the two, to be honest. For a single energy, it does 80 damage, and if your opponent's active is burned, it does 160 more. So what's that? 220, I want to say? 200 to 240? No. Yeah, no, that is 240. Yeah. Okay, so that's like actually really solid burn damage. And like if you factor in Volcarona, like the latest one from Black Bolt and White Flare that's discard a Pharange from your hand, and then, your opponent's active Pokemon is now burned, then that's a really easy, simple combo to do. Like you need what? An energy on Camerupt, a Volcarona in play, an energy in hand. Like that's really not that hard to set up. Like, sure, Numel won't have like 70 HP probably. It will need to be like Nest Balled out or like maybe even get like Precious Trolley involved. But I think overall that's a really solid effect. Or you could go like 4 copies of Brock Scouting, I guess, and just do it that way. But yeah, seems like a very easy, efficient attacker to use. If we ever get stuff back like Hyper Potion or Max Potion, then that could be really good here as well, just to like exploit some healing effects, because you'll only be needing 1 energy really for Roasting Heat, so that's quite nice. But if you want to, the second attack, Volcano Meteor, for a fire and 3 colorless energy, so it is a bit expensive, does 280 damage and then discard 2 energy from Camerupt. So yeah, a bit expensive. You can use the ignition energy if you really wanted to, actually. I didn't think about that before. Yeah, you could use a Pharange and an ignition, do the 280, and then just discard the ignition energy. That could be really solid, actually. So, yeah, okay, I'm definitely feeling it more for Mega Camera Ups. Like, I was going to say, like, you could use Cinderace and, like, Mela to power this guy up. Cinderace was, if you've forgotten what Cinderace does, it's just down here, actually. Where is it? Cinderace, come here, boy. Scroll far enough, we'll find it. There we go. Cinderace with the ability Explosiveness. So if this Pokemon is in your hand when you're setting up to play, you may put it face down as your active Pokemon. And then Flare Turbo does 50 damage, so, we'll set up more KOs as well, because 280 is a bit short of, other Megas and Stage 2 EXs. And you get to search your deck for 3 basic energy, attach them to your bench Pokemon. So, yeah, Cinderace Mega Camerupt, I think, could be a lot of fun. Maybe it's not like a super S tier deck or anything, but it does seem like a very decent deck, like overall. Just a very decent, solid deck. And yeah, that Ignition Energy combo, I really didn't think about that. So yeah, I'm honestly really looking forward to Mega Camerupt. It's definitely my favorite Mega. I think Mega Manectric and Mega Abominus Snow, which are the last two Megas to be revealed, I think those cards will have to be very good at this point to really dissuade me from like playing Mega Camerupt DX day one, because yeah, I'm really looking forward to this guy. Then we also have a couple of more reveals to talk about here. Celebi is okay. I think it's more of a GLC piece, to be honest. Search your deck for 3 in any combination of grass Pokemon and stadium cards. Reveal them, put them into your hand. I do quite like this for GLC, just because stadiums are a bit annoying to track down. Like, you don't really want to use things like Stadium Nav. So, like, being able to find, your Turffield Stadium is quite cool. So, for the GLC fans out there, I think Celebi's a nice, solid inclusion. Then we also see a Marshadow. Again, I think this is more of a GLC piece, but for 2 fighting energy, does 60 damage, and if any of your opponent's Pokemon were KO'd by damage from this attack, so it has to be damage done by this attack, not like poison or anything, prevent all damage and effects of attacks done to this Pokemon during your opponent's next turn. So very interesting, getting immunity is nice, but I think in a format with boss's orders, this will always be a bit risky. And, it's only doing 60 as well, which is it's a bit rubbish. No level ball in format as well is a bit rough. So yeah, I think this is definitely more of a GLC piece, but maybe something for Mega Lucario, I guess. Yeah, that's Marshadow. Then we've got this Kyogre, which I think could have been really, really, really good if in like Chien-Pao, Palkia, V-Star, like before rotation. But right now, I don't think Chien-Pao is quite strong enough to really warrant this, and Chien-Pao doesn't really play a lot of energy anyhow. But yeah, Riptide does 20 damage for each basic water energy in your discard pile, then you have to shuffle them back in. Like, Victini Prism did see a decent amount of play when it was a thing, so I'm cautiously optimistic there's like a fun deck from this, because it literally is just Basket Legion, but as a basic, and it's got 150 HP, which isn't terrible. Like, yeah, you're not going to KO a Mega Evolution or something, but like maybe there's a really fun, like, almost Ceruledge style deck, of like Carmine and Research, just Ultra Ball, stuff like that. You play 4 Kyogre, it's a funny meme deck. Stuff like that, really. Like, yeah, maybe in GLC as well, but I think there's maybe some fun meme deck status potential for Kyogre, but, maybe I'm reaching here. Maybe there's nothing, but, could be fun. Then we also have this new Gargankel that was literally revealed as of today, recording this video. Gargankel has the ability Power Assault. Attacks used by your fighting Pokemon deal 30 more damage to your opponent's active. So we have already seen the item that increases your fighting type damage by plus 30 for a turn. So this ability is interesting because, like, I don't really see Mega Lucario or Garchomp wanting to make room for a Gargankel. Like, it just seems a bit much. But I guess if you're playing like more or less a quad Lucario deck with like 4 Riolo, 3 Lucario, and like nothing else, then maybe there's an argument to play like a 2-2 line of Gargankel and slot him some like rare candies, because like Hilda's really good right now. Like, you can just Hilda for a Gargankel and a fighting energy, which is nice. So, maybe there's some solid potential here, but I think overall it's just a bit too much work. Like, we've seen things before in the past, like Embor, that increased your damage by plus 30, and that was a stage 2, didn't see any play. Like, I don't want to really gas this guy up, but like at least it's somewhat playable, right? So something to bear in mind for Lucario and any like fighting type basics that we get. But I think overall the highlight of the reveals for me is definitely Mega Camerupt. I think Kangaskhan will actually see more play, but Mega Camerupt overall seems like a lot of fun to me. So yeah, let me know what you think about these card reveals down below. Are you excited for any one Mega Evolution in particular? And yeah, thank you for watching.